Most people love the idea of success, but very few are willing to accept the brutal reality that comes with it. Everyone wants the outcome. Everyone wants the recognition, the freedom, the financial rewards, and the respect. But almost nobody wants the grind, the sacrifice, and the years of uncertainty that happen before those results ever appear. The truth is, success is not glamorous in the beginning. It's quiet, it's lonely, it's repetitive. While others are relaxing, scrolling through their phones, or complaining about their situation, the people who eventually succeed are doing the uncomfortable work. They're learning, experimenting, failing, adjusting, and trying again. One of the biggest lies people believe is that successful individuals had some kind of secret advantage. The reality is far simpler and far harder. They were willing to work longer, stay patient longer, and keep going when most people would have quit. Another reality people struggle to accept is failure. Many people are terrified of making mistakes. They avoid risk because they don't want to look bad. But mistakes are not the enemy of success. Avoiding action is. Every failure carries information. Every setback teaches something valuable. The people who win are the ones who treat failure as education instead of humiliation. There is also a dangerous obsession with overnight success. Social media shows the highlights, the success stories, the big moments, the visible victories. What it rarely shows are the years of invisible work behind those moments. The late nights, the failed attempts, the doubts, the financial struggles, the moments when quitting seemed like the easiest option. Another brutal truth is that nobody owes you success. Not your boss, not your family, not society. Your results come from your actions. The moment you stop blaming circumstances and start taking full responsibility for where you are, everything begins to change. Accountability is uncomfortable, but it is also incredibly empowering. Consistency is the real secret most people overlook. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel inspired and many days you do not. But successful people do the work anyway. They build habits. They show up repeatedly. They understand that small actions done every day eventually create massive results. And finally, patience is the foundation of everything. Real success takes time, often far more time than people expect. Years, sometimes decades. But those who understand this truth stop chasing shortcuts and start focusing on progress. They invest in learning, improving, and building something meaningful step by step. The brutal reality of success is simple. It demands effort, resilience, discipline, and patience. Most people refuse to accept this because it is uncomfortable. But the moment you accept it, the game changes. Because once you understand the reality, you stop waiting for success and you start building it. Success takes far more time than most people are willing to accept, and that truth alone stops a lot of people from ever reaching it. Everyone loves the idea of fast results. People want to start something today and see massive progress tomorrow. They want recognition quickly, financial rewards quickly, and proof that their effort is paying off almost immediately. But the reality is that real success usually moves slowly, quietly, and sometimes painfully. In the early stages, it often feels like nothing is happening. You put in hours of work, energy, and focus, yet the outside world sees very little change. This is where most people quit. They assume that because results are not visible yet, their efforts must be useless. They start comparing themselves to others who appear to be moving faster, and that comparison creates frustration and doubt. The truth is that success is built through consistent effort over long periods of time. Progress compounds slowly at first. Just like planting a seed, you do not see the growth immediately above the ground. Beneath the surface, however, roots are forming, strengthening, and spreading. The same thing happens when someone is building skills, knowledge, and experience. Those invisible stages are often the most important parts of the entire process. People who eventually achieve great things usually understand this principle early on. They know the journey will take years, not weeks. Instead of focusing only on immediate results, they focus on daily improvement. They focus on learning something new, refining their craft, and becoming slightly better every day. Patience becomes their greatest advantage because they are willing to stay in the game longer than most people. While others quit out of frustration, they continue to show up, continue to work, and continue to trust the process even when the rewards are not yet visible. Hard work is the part of success that most people try to avoid, yet it is the very thing that makes success possible. People often look for shortcuts, secret formulas, or easy strategies that promise big results with minimal effort. The internet is full of messages that make success look quick and simple. But the truth is that meaningful achievements almost always require relentless effort and dedication. Hard work does not always look exciting or inspiring. Most of the time, it is repetitive, disciplined, and sometimes exhausting. It means waking up early or staying focused when distractions are everywhere. It means continuing to put in effort even when nobody is watching and when there is no immediate reward. Many people underestimate how much effort is actually required to reach a high level of success in any field. The individuals who eventually stand out are rarely the ones who simply relied on talent or luck. They are the ones who practiced longer, studied deeper, and pushed themselves further than others were willing to go. They treated their work with seriousness and commitment, while many others treated their goals like temporary interests. Another important part of hard work is the willingness to embrace discomfort. Growth rarely happens in comfortable situations. It happens when people challenge themselves, try difficult things, and keep moving forward even when the process feels difficult. The moments that feel the hardest are often the ones that build the strongest skills and the greatest resilience. People who truly understand success begin to see hard work not as punishment, but as an investment. Every hour of effort adds value to their experience and their abilities. Over time, these hours accumulate and create a level of expertise that cannot be easily matched. While others search for easier paths, those who commit to consistent effort slowly build a foundation that supports lasting success. Failure is one of the most misunderstood parts of the journey towards success. Many people see failure as something embarrassing, something that proves they are not capable or not good enough. Because of this belief, they spend a lot of time trying to avoid mistakes. They hesitate, overthink, and delay taking action because they are afraid of what might go wrong. But the truth is that avoiding failure often means avoiding growth. Every meaningful path towards success includes moments where things do not work as expected. Plans fall apart, ideas fail, and efforts sometimes produce disappointing results. These moments can feel frustrating and discouraging, especially when a lot of time and energy have already been invested. However, failure carries something extremely valuable that success often does not provide clear feedback. When something fails, it reveals weaknesses, gaps in knowledge, and areas that need improvement. It forces people to analyze what happened, adjust their approach, and become smarter in the process. Each mistake becomes a lesson that cannot be learned from theory alone. Experience, even painful experience, builds understanding that eventually leads to better decisions. The individuals who move forward are the ones who change their relationship with failure. Instead of seeing it as proof that they should stop, they see it as part of the training process. They understand that every attempt brings them closer to improvement. The goal is not to avoid mistakes completely, but to learn from them quickly and continue moving. This mindset creates resilience. When failure no longer feels like the end, people become more willing to experiment, take risks, and explore new possibilities. Over time, the lessons from those failures accumulate, creating wisdom and confidence that cannot be gained any other way. One of the hardest truths for many people to accept is that success begins the moment you take full responsibility for your life. It is easy to point fingers at circumstances, at the economy, at the people around you, or at opportunities that never appeared. Blaming external factors can feel comforting because it removes the pressure of personal accountability. But the moment someone decides that everything is someone else's fault, they also give away their power to change anything. Taking responsibility does not mean ignoring the challenges or disadvantages that exist. Everyone faces different obstacles, different environments, and different starting points. Some people begin their journey with more support, more resources, or more opportunities than others. But even with these differences, the only factor that a person can truly control is their response to those circumstances. When someone accepts responsibility, their mindset begins to shift. Instead of asking why things are unfair, they start asking what actions they can take. Instead of waiting for someone to fix their situation, They begin searching for ways to improve it themselves. This shift may seem simple, but it changes everything about how a person approaches challenges and opportunities. Accountability also builds discipline. When people stop blaming others, they start evaluating their own habits, decisions, and daily actions. They begin to notice how small choices influence long-term results. This awareness creates the opportunity to make better decisions and develop stronger routines. Over time, people who take responsibility develop a sense of control over their direction in life. They understand that progress comes from consistent action, learning, and adaptation. By focusing on what they can change instead of what they cannot, they slowly build momentum and open the door to growth and new possibilities. Many people believe that motivation is the key to achieving success. They wait for the moment when they feel inspired, energized, and ready to take action. In the beginning, motivation can be powerful. It creates excitement and a strong desire to start something new. People make plans, set goals, and imagine the future they want to create. But motivation is temporary, and relying on it alone often leads to disappointment. There are many days when motivation disappears. Some mornings you wake up feeling tired, distracted, or uncertain. The excitement that existed in the beginning fades, and the work begins to feel repetitive or difficult. This is the exact point where many people stop. They assume that losing motivation means they are no longer passionate about their goals, so they abandon the process and search for something new that will make them feel inspired again. What separates successful individuals from everyone else is their understanding that consistency matters far more than motivation. Instead of depending on emotions, they build routines and habits that keep them moving forward even when they do not feel excited. They show up and do the work, whether the mood is perfect or not. Consistency may appear small on a daily basis, but its long-term impact is powerful. Small actions repeated every day slowly build skills, knowledge, and experience. Over weeks, months, and years, those actions compound into noticeable progress. While others start and stop based on how they feel, consistent individuals continue moving forward at a steady pace. This steady approach also strengthens discipline. The more someone practices showing up regardless of their mood, the easier it becomes to maintain momentum. Their progress becomes the result of reliable effort rather than unpredictable bursts of motivation. Patience is one of the most difficult qualities to develop in a world that constantly promotes speed and instant results. Everyday people are surrounded by messages that promise fast growth, quick profits, and immediate success. Social media especially creates the illusion that everything can happen overnight. People see highlights of someone's achievements and assume that the journey was short and effortless. What they rarely see are the years of preparation, learning, and persistence that happened before those visible moments. Because of this environment, many people start ambitious goals, but quickly become discouraged when progress feels slow. After a few weeks or months without dramatic results, doubt begins to grow. They question whether the effort is worth it, whether they chose the right path, or whether success is even possible for them. The pressure to see quick outcomes pushes many individuals to abandon their long-term plans and search for something that promises faster rewards. Those who truly succeed tend to think very differently about time. Instead of focusing only on what will happen this week or this month, they think about what their life could look like years from now. This long-term perspective allows them to stay calm during slow periods because they understand that meaningful growth takes time to develop. Patience also creates space for deeper improvement. When someone is not rushing for immediate results, they can focus on mastering their skills, refining their strategies, and learning from each experience. Progress becomes steady and sustainable rather than rushed and unstable. Over time, patience becomes a powerful advantage. While others become frustrated and quit early, patient individuals remain committed to their path, continuing to build, improve, and move forward step by step. The brutal reality of success is simple. It demands time, hard work, learning from failure, personal accountability, consistency, and patience. Most people refuse to accept this because it is uncomfortable, and instead, they chase shortcuts, instant results, or external validation. True achievers understand that success is a long-term game. They show up even when motivation fades, embrace failure as feedback, take full responsibility for their actions, and focus on continuous improvement. Every small, disciplined action compounds over time, and the patience to endure the grind separates those who reach their goals from those who only dream about them. Success is not about luck, talent, or fleeting inspiration. It is about committing to the process, embracing discomfort, and trusting that every effort adds up. When you internalize these truths and act on them relentlessly, you stop waiting for success to happen and start building it yourself, step by step, day by day.